Hey guys, welcome back. My challenge right now is to create a gig-ready classic rock style preset with the AX8 in less than 5 minutes. I have a timer on and I have a Les Paul plugged in and we're going to go and do it. So first thing to do, let's connect up the grid and we should be able to hear my guitar. And that is the most uninspiring thing you'll hear all day. So first thing, let's pick an amp. I'm going to have this set up so I have maybe 4 scenes. I want a clean amp on scene X, and then I want a dirty amp on scene Y, and maybe a drive and a delay and a wah and stuff like that. So first thing we're going to do, I'm going to pick an IR. And for me, one of my favorite sounding IRs in the AX8 at the moment is this G12H Creamback Celestian mix. I think it sounds really good. I'm going to stick with the one IR for everything. First thing I do before I even touch the amp, I know that I like the low cut at 80, and I know that I like the high cut somewhere around the 8K mark. So the reason for this is that when I crank this up through a full range system, the highs won't be too ice picky and it won't be too boomy. So I'm going to also turn the proximity on because that's where I like it, and we're already under a minute down. Right, so for the clean amp, let's do this. Let's get a Fender. I want a twin, and the name for that one is the Double Verb. Let's go vibrato. Now, when you're setting up a twin, the magic 6 settings are 2 on the bass, 3 for mids, 6 for treble, and then we're going to tweak the input drive to where we need it. So let's just have a listen to how this sounds. A little bit gainy for what I like, so I'm going to kick the gain down to about 3. Now with the clean amps, the one big tweak I make is to add a bit of output comp compression, and that just evens out the dynamic. Sounds beautiful already. So there is my main clean amp tone. Let's swap over. I'm going to actually just copy X to Y. While we do that, we're under 3 minutes left. Let's see how I go with this. And while that is copying, right, we're going to clip over to scene Y. And for me, a good all-around sounding dirty amp is the Brit 800 number 34. Settings on this are pretty easy. I'm going to set the bass to 5, the mids to 6, and the treble to 4 because it's a bright sounding amp. And we'll add a little bit more drive to that. Whoa, where'd my treble go? Add a little bit more drive to that. Maybe around 5. Alright, good stuff. I'm going to add a drive pedal really quickly in front of that one. I don't know, let's think. Tube Screamer, that'll do the job. Turn the drive right down, turn the level right up, and the tone up. So that's going to be my volume boost. So let's add a delay to that. Maybe just a bit of tape delay. Mono tape should do the trick. And you know, I like my delay for a quarter note, which should be pretty easy. And crank the mix up to about 25%. Let's have a listen to that. I'm pretty happy with that one. I wouldn't mind a compressor for the clean sound. So let's take the amp back to X. And I'm going to pick the optical comp 2. I like the way that one sounds. Turn the comp down a little bit and the emphasis up a bit and the level to about 3. Let's have a listen to that. It's not too bad. I like the way that sounds. I'm going to add a wah. That will be the last step there. And this, all I'm going to do is change the maximum frequency down and the minimum frequency down. And I'll assign that to pedal number 1 to auto engage. Let's have a look. Engage medium, and I want this to be toe down off. So there we go, there's the wah. And let's have a listen to how all this sounds with Y. I'm going to turn the compressor off for that. So all I have to do now is assign the foot switches in the scenes. And I'll do that right now while I still have a few seconds left. And you know what? I'm going to do that now. So foot switches will go scene 1, that can be my clean sound. Scene 2 can be my dirty sound, and scene 3 can be my lead sound. I'm going to put the wah, the drive, the delay, and there is 5 minutes. So I may have underestimated that, but that's a basic idea. And then all I have to go through now is to assign the scene. So scene 1, what did I want there? I want my amp on X, I want the drive off, and I want the comp on, so I'll save that. Scene 2 is my dirty amp on Y with nothing, and then scene 3 is going to be, where'd my delay go? Yeah, let's put all of this on for scene 3. Good stuff. Cool. So, oh, I don't think I assigned my amp correctly there. Keep in mind there's a small audio gap when you're switching here. So the way I'd run this at a gig is I'd have this set up for clean sound. And if I wanted to play a guitar solo with that, I would crank the... That level should be at 10. For the bluesy stuff, and then for the rock stuff, scene 2 with the... Should be off. And there you have it. That is how you can create a decent sounding classic rock preset in, well, I said 5 minutes. It was a little over 5 minutes when I got around to all the foot switch assignments. But I think that sounds pretty good. You got your Fender Twin, Marshall kind of combination, a drive pedal, a compressor, a one, a delay. It's a really simple rig, but I personally would not need more than this to play a bunch of tunes from the 70s and the 60s in a live band. There you go. I mean, you might want to add a chorus or a reverb or something like that to taste. But yeah, that would be my very basic preset. And you know what? I'm going to call this LTCR preset, and you guys can download this. I'll put the link in the video description. Thank you for tuning in. Please consider subscribing, as always, if you liked it, and I will see you guys very soon.